class, and welcome to video 2 of our Chapter 14 video lecture series on the interview assignment. In this video, we're going to be discussing the different types of potential interview questions. These include basic questions, behavioral questions, and end of interview questions. So let's go ahead and get started with the basic question. The basic interview question is what I like to refer to as the get to know you question. This is where an interviewer starts to learn more about you and assess whether you might be someone they could be interested in hiring. Let's look at a few examples below as well as some do's and don'ts for each. The first is, tell me about yourself. When an interviewer asks you this question, make sure to tell them information that's relevant to the position. Do not use this as an opportunity to share your whole life story. Another common question is, tell me about your strengths or tell me about your weaknesses. For strengths, you should tell the interviewer something you're really good at that the position requires. For weaknesses, pick a small weakness you have and tell the interviewer how you are already working on fixing it. Do not tell them that you are really bad at something that the job requires. Honesty is important and you should never lie in an interview, but you should frame yourself in the best way possible. Next, if you are asked, why do you want this job? Do not say because of the pay or the prestige. Tell them either about something you love to do that is required by the position or something you love about the company that makes you want to join their team. And lastly, if you are asked why you are leaving your current job, do not bash your previous employer. Interviewers may see this as you placing blame on your employer, as well as how you might talk about them in the future. Instead, try to remain positive. A common answer given is a lack of opportunity for growth or the completion of a degree or training that is taking you in a new direction. If possible, you want to say that you value and are thankful for the experience you gained at your current position and that you plan to use what you learned there where applicable to help you in your new position. This will help them see that you place your employers in a positive light and give them a good example of how you will represent them in the future. The second type of interview question is the behavioral question. According to research, more than 80% of employers use behavioral questions within their interviews, while more than 40% of employers ask only behavioral questions during their interview. At this point, you may be wondering, what is a behavioral question? A behavioral question asks how you would respond to a hypothetical situation based on how you've responded to similar situations in the past. The best way to answer behavioral questions is using the STAR method, which we'll go over on the next slide. STAR stands for the different steps you should take when answering a behavioral question. ST stands for the situation/task. In this section of the method, you want to describe for your interviewer the background information of a similar situation you were in, as well as the task you were trying to complete. By doing this, you let the interviewer know why you chose your chosen course of action. A stands for the action or actions you took in the situation in order to accomplish your task. You want to let the interviewer know what you did exactly, as well as how you did it and what steps were involved in the process. Lastly, the R stands for result. You want to let the interviewer know what the results of your actions were. If it was positive, you want to let them know that it was a positive result, as well as if you received any type of special recognition. If it was not a positive result, you want to let the interviewer know how you learned from the situation and how you plan to improve your actions in the future if given the opportunity. The third and final type of interview question we'll discuss is the end of interview question. You should always be prepared to ask a question at the end of your interview, even if it's as simple as, what are the next steps in this process? There are 3 really good reasons for this, which we'll go over below. First, it gives you more face time with your interviewer, which may help them remember you better in the future. Second, it gives you the opportunity to ensure you have shown that you possess all applicable skills. One way of doing this is to ask the interviewer if they have any hesitations about your qualifications. If they do, you now have the opportunity to specifically address these hesitations by telling them about relevant experiences, skills, and abilities that you possess. Lastly, you now have the opportunity to learn more about the company. You can ask them what they like about working there, or ask about future plans the company has for growth. The following is an optional exercise that you can conduct with one of your peers for extra credit. If you would like to take this extra credit opportunity, you can find the worksheet under the Chapter 14 module. Okay, let's wrap up. In this video, we covered the different types of interview questions, which included basic interview questions, behavioral questions and how to use the STAR method, as well as end of interview questions. Please join me for video 3 of Chapter 14, where we'll discuss the interview assignment.